Hi, and welcome to Wednesday. The first thing I'm going to do, because I'm going to forget, is let you know that for those of you that are local, this Sunday I will be at the Goddess Elite on the 12th from 1 to 4, or however long I need to stay for. If you're looking for stocking stuffer or you're looking for something from the website, everything will be there, and Melissa will have the books. So if you're looking for a gift, you know, the cookbook is great for a mother or mother-in-law. And Melissa has thousands of things in that store. There, you can't leave without finding something that you want. And so I'll be there. We are not sure how bad the postage or the UPS is going to, or UPS and mail is going to be this year. Please, if you're looking for stuff for Christmas gifts, order early. We don't want anybody to be disappointed. We have got two new Zooms starting in January. We're going to go to two a month again. The first one is Friday, January 14th, and it's at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so you have to adjust that to your time zone. The other one is Monday, January 24th, same times. The new moons for 2022 are on the website. So they're there. You just have to look for them and you'll find them. Also, we have made up a Law of Abundance checkbook with for the year 2022 with all the dates and the times, and the checks are all in yellow and they're in a little like a regular checkbook. And for those of you that have a hard time finding pens, papers, dates, whatever, this might be a really good gift for you. They're supposed to be delivered this Friday. We'll see. I don't know if they'll get here in time or not. Um, and the last thing I've got to say from the webmaster, she's telling me, Ted is telling me, please, 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 I do not answer anybody on anything electronic. Don't even look at a computer. This is as close as I get. Ted's sitting right here, so if I accidentally touch the computer, he can turn it back on. So please, if you need me to see something, talk to me. Either come on Zoom, call, or write. That's going to be the best way for me to get back to you. Okay, this first letter is from Keegan in Utah. Our daughter is 9 and she is super naturally afraid of the dark. Supernaturally, that must be really, really, really afraid of the dark. Um, when we moved from our previous house to this house, we thought it might get better, but it, in fact, has gotten worse. The older she gets, the more afraid she gets to the unknown. She wants to know everything. That is going to happen ahead of time. We've had to put her into therapy. Our baby died at 4.5 from leukemia. Stuff that happened when she was sick was just weird. Central line was out. I had to search every day for the pill cutter so I could prepare her medications for that day. Toys would go missing. They would have bizarre, my kids would have bizarre childhood accidents, have night terrors. The list goes on and on. You don't know me, but if you did, you would know that I am the most grounded, practical, common sense based person ever. We love and care for our children. We go to a church we love. So many crazy crap happens that even my therapist has said he can't figure it out. Please, because there's some information you can give me. P.S. I had to type this 3 times because every time I tried to send it, something went wrong. Everything is like that. Wow, we've got a whole bunch going on here, Keegan. I'm going to guess with your daughter being 9 years old and her sister dying from leukemia, she was old enough to see how sick she was of the unknown. It wouldn't surprise me if she's just scared that something's going to happen to her like happened to her sister. I mean, and I would hope that her therapist is working on maybe that. It does sound like you definitely have something going on in the house, but I have to say, with the stuff especially affecting the kids so bad, and the pill cutter missing and the line taken out on your daughter when she was sick, almost wondering if you don't have wee folk in the house. I think that may be part of the problem. Um, Try to come on Zoom or call. I cannot tell from a letter if you have wee folk. I have to listen when I talk to you, either on Zoom or on the phone. And if nothing else, until that happens, if it's going to happen, start smudging. Your kids should not be afraid in their own house. That's ridiculous. So look into that. This one is from Jane. And are you able to solve murders if you can see the ghost before the burial/cemetery? If every ghost attends their own funeral, wouldn't you be able to ask them the ghost who caused their death? If so, do you ever assist the police with this sort of thing? Jane, I have been doing this for years with all kinds of law enforcement, and most of the detectives or who's ever working the case that have worked with me know that if there is a body and there is going to be a funeral, that I need to talk to the victim before the funeral happens. And some cases that's not always the easiest thing to do, believe it or not. But yes, I do that. I have solved a lot of cases for all kinds of law enforcement, and I'm always the anonymous tip. So that's just my handle for them for that. And believe it or not, over the years, it's amazing how many people that are murdered do not know who murdered them. And let me just give you an example. You're walking down the street. Let's use Cleveland as an example. And you're by yourself. You're headed to the garage to get your car. And somebody hit you on the back of the head. Never saw them. They knocked you out. Got your keys, threw you in your trunk, got in your car, drove to Lake Erie, a block, 2 blocks away from where you got hit in the head, went to a pier and just dumped your body in the lake, drove away. What does it take to drown? 2 minutes, 3 minutes? So you die. Your spirit leaves your body, it comes out. Where's my car? How did I get here? You don't know who did that to you. And unfortunately, that happens in more cases than you might believe. So if I can help them, I do. But you have to keep this in mind. I only work on murder cases when the police are involved. I do not work on a murder case for the family because I don't like stepping on anybody's toes. And so I will work with the family if the police are involved. So keep that in mind. But yeah, Jane, I absolutely do that kind of thing. Have for years. And I don't talk about the cases. Sometimes it's to protect the families, sometimes it's to protect the dead person. And I think that is probably one of the reasons why law enforcement agencies do use me, because I don't talk about it. And with that note, when I do see something horrible that happened on TV, I also never call the police and offer my services. Too many psychics do that. I'm not a psychic, I don't do that. And again, I wait for them. This one is interesting. It's from a furniture store in Michigan. No name, just a furniture store. Good afternoon. We found your website after reading your book, When Ghosts Speak, which we loved. We have a furniture store in a very old pre-Civil War building that up until 60 years ago had also been a funeral home. We noticed activity from the time to time in one section on the second floor, such as lights flickering, lights being turned off and on, music being messed with, etc., and not by any of us. One of our employees witnessed what she described as the flash moving quickly across the doorway. These incidents have been happening for the past 4 to 5 years, which we find strange since we've owned this building for over 90 years. It has been in the family. We suspect that there may be at least one or more ghosts causing these strange things to happen. Could you possibly tell us what's going on? Okay, first of all, not so much now, but in the olden days, a lot of families, and in the Cleveland area, there are still a lot of funeral homes where the undertaker or the funeral director live above the viewing, above the funeral home. That's where the house is. And surprisingly, ghosts do not hang out in funeral homes. Um, they're home with the families. They leave their body. They wait until the families leave the hospital or the nursing home or hospice or whatever, and they go home with the families. They go see people they haven't seen for a long time. All the years that I have done this, I know of 4 people that watched their body be prepared for a funeral. Nobody wants to see it. They just want to see themselves laid out in a coffin, all made up, all dressed nice. They don't want to see how they got there. So, yes, when you go to a viewing, there is a ghost there. But again, they go back with family members. If they're not going to go to the light, they do not hang out in a funeral home. However, this place has been other businesses beside a funeral home and the furniture store. This would be more active if it was antiques than a new furniture store, meaning new furniture is being sold there. But that's a possibility, especially now that people are starting to come back after COVID and the stores are opening again. The ghosts are coming back too. They've been hanging out in people's houses. Um, I would say start smudging. Seriously, try to get on Zoom from the store. And I've been on Zoom with other businesses. Let's see what's going on. That's the best way to find out. This one is from James. I first came in contact with this thing in 2010 when my friends and I went to go see a deserted, supposedly haunted hospital. My friends and I got split up when the police showed up to kick us out. I ran downstairs and noticed a shadow move around the corner. So I followed it, assuming it was one of my friends. Every time I would reach a corner, the shadow was waiting at the next hallway. I finally saw a way out after 3 or 4 hallways, and I stopped following the shadow. Over the next 5 years, I had the TV turn on and the shower sometimes, toilets flush constantly. It showed up in my house, just standing in the doorway in my bedroom. It was shaking like it was cold, like it had the shivers. Then it walked backward out of view. I had joined the Marines and I got out of the Marines recently, and I had seen a lot of terrors of war, but I have to tell you, that shadow is still in my house, and that scares me more than anything I saw in the war. I was on the phone with my mom, and a third voice came on and just breathing in anger. So I hung up and called her back. To my surprise, she heard the same thing. What should I do to stop this? Well, this could have started at that haunted hospital. However, if the hospital was broken down and deserted and nobody was there, I don't know why any earthbound spirits would be there, because who would they get energy from? So I don't really know where you picked this entity up at, but obviously he is with you and he is definitely trying to get your attention. Get on Zoom, call me. Let's figure out what's going on. Before then, start smudging. You get him lethargic so he gets out of your face. And let's see, what he looks like, what time period he's from. Maybe you'll figure out who he is. Okay, again, uh, definitely if you have stuff happening over Christmas, over the years that you couldn't understand, explain, now thinking back, it could have been a ghost, send them in. Let me do, when I do the Christmas one, the Wednesday before Christmas, and we'll see what ghosts have done in some of the people's houses. Have a great week. Talk to you next time. Bye bye.